Hello, friends. Welcome back to English Classes Online. My name is Benjamin. Today's video is on how to answer literature questions in Basic Education Certificate Examination English. This is part of our Junior School Certificate Examination preparatory lessons in which we solve past questions with a view to helping candidates of the junior WAEC exams, those who are preparing to sit for their junior WAEC exams. And of course, English is a living subject. So if you are preparing for the senior WAEC exam or the NECO school certificates, senior school certificate examination, or even the junior or NAPTEP or any of the English exams, this video will be useful to you because we shall be answering questions on literary terms. If you are a literature student in any of the senior school certificate examinations, do not say that this lesson is for the junior school students, because the literary terms we are going to discuss here are also part of what come out as general, as questions on general principles of literature or literary appreciation. All right, so if you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe to the channel by clicking on the subscribe button below. Click on the bell icon as well, so that whenever a new video is uploaded on the channel, you will be notified instantly. Let's dive into the lesson right away. Now, we have been looking at various sections of the Basic Education Certificate Examination. This is the objective questions at a glance, and you can see that we have actually solved questions from different parts: comprehension, summary, vocabulary development, lexis and structure, collocation, antonyms, synonyms, sentence interpretation, phonetic symbols, rhymes. And today we are dealing with literary terms, that is questions on literature. So let's go straight into it. Now, what are literary terms? Literary terms are devices, words, or expressions associated with the writing, study, or appreciation of literature. You know, those words associated with literature, associated with writing, all right? When we talk of literature, from literature, you have literacy, you know, reading and writing, all right? So let's go straight into the questions. Lagos State Basic Education Certificates Examination of 2020, English Studies Objective Test. Of course, you know that in the junior school, literature is incorporated into the English studies. You don't have literature as a separate subject. Literature is part of English studies, and the questions are set together. So let's now look at the questions. Instruction. From the options lettered A to D, choose one that correctly answers the following questions. Question number 90. The words, phrases, and sentences used in any story to pass across the writer's message is known as dash. All right. Now you can see option A is mood. Mood is not the answer, because mood refers to the state, the writer's state of mind or feeling at the time of composing a work of art. So that's a different thing. Theme refers to the main idea expressed in a work of art or a literary work. Then the actual answer is diction. Diction simply means choice of words. You know, how a writer chooses his or her words and uses them in a literary work is diction. Now, point of view has to do with, you know, the angle from which you tell a story, either from the point of view of the first person, what is called the first person point of view. When you are telling a story and you are a participant in that story, it is first person point of view. When you always say I or we, or, you know, or it happened to me, you know, so it is first person point of view. The third person point of view is when you are telling the story about another person, all right? So you have different points of view. So, but the correct option here is C, which is diction, all right? So as we explain this, I expect that you should have your past question compilation guide and then be on the same page with me, so that as you go through the questions, go through the options as well. Then I will explain the various options and show you the correct option and explain why it is the correct option. That's why this video is very important and will be very useful to anyone who is interested in English studies or literature. All right. Now, question number 91. The character that works against the hero or heroine in any story is called a protagonist. No, a protagonist is in most cases the hero or heroine, although you might have an anti-hero who is a protagonist. A protagonist is the person who is the central character in the story. All right. So, and is in most cases the hero or heroine. Now, a minor character is a character in a story who is not the major character. It's just one of the characters and does not play a major role in that story. All right. Now, the antagonist is the answer. You know, when you have anti, A-N-T-I, is against. All right. An antagonist is somebody who is against another person. If you antagonize someone, you are actually attacking the person. You are positioning yourself as an enemy to the person. So an antagonist is the person who is against the protagonist. All right. Pro means in support. Anti means against. So a flat character is a character that does not undergo any change in the story. From the beginning of the story, you find this character the way he or she is, and even at the end of the story, the character still remains unchanged. That's a flat character. And the opposite is a round character that undergoes a change. Maybe a character was bad at the beginning of the story, but at the end of the story, there is a change. The person's character changes. All right, so that is a round character, but then a flat character remains unchanged. Okay, so then we look at question number 92. A practice where actors of a play are selected to play specific roles is called production. Well, in reproduction, of course, the actions of the play are being produced. You know, production is similar to that when you have, but audition has to do with pre-production. It's, you know, something that happens before the production. It can also be called casting. It's a process to select those who are going to play roles. And it is audition, actually. That's the specific word. Projection, no. Submission, no. Now, question number 93. The first 8 lines of a sonnet is called a sestet. No. Sestet refers to 6 lines of a poem. All right. A 6-line poem, or is 6 lines that form a stanza that is part of a poem. Now, a couplet is a pair of rhyming lines in poetry, and it can be the last two lines of a sonnet. All right, a sonnet is is made up of 14 lines, and then quatrain is a stanza of 4 lines, and normally you have 3 quatrains in a sonnet plus a couplet, which is 2, making 14. So a quatrain is a stanza of 4 lines. So in a sonnet, you have the first 2 quatrains form the octave. Octave refers to the first 8 lines of a sonnet. But you can also look at an octave as an 8 line. All right, that's just 8 lines, and those 8 lines to be 2 quatrains. That's 4 lines into 2. We form an octave. All right. Now you can look at a sestet as 6 lines, and that could be a quatrain plus a couplet. A couplet is 2 lines that rhyme, and then a sestet is 6. Right? So that's exactly. In other words, when you look at the structure of a sonnet, you discover that it's made up of an octave and a sestet. 8 lines plus 6 lines. And within these 6 lines, the first 8 lines form the octave. That's the first part of a sonnet. Then the last 6 lines, which you can call the sestet, is made up of a quatrain and a couplet, something like that. I just want you to have a picture of, have an idea of what these various terms mean, because that is what literary terms are about. They are terms that are used in literary appreciation. All right. So let's now continue. Question number 94. A poem which tells a story is referred to as dash poem. A lyrical, no? Well, a lyrical poem is a poem that has lyrics. When you talk of a lyric, is a song-like poem, is a poem that can be produced as a song. All right. Now, an elegy is a poem that is used to lament the death of a loved one, or the death of someone. That is an elegy. Elegy. Now a lot of people mispronounce this. They say elegy, but that is not the actual pronunciation. This is elegy. All right. So the option C is correct. That is narrative. A poem which tells a story is referred to as a narrative poem. Just as the name narrative implies, a narrative essay is a storytelling kind of essay. So a narrative poem is also a storytelling kind of poem. So that's the way it is. Now, a pastoral poem deals more with rural life. When a poem is, capturing the life of people in a village or in a rural community, people who keep cattle, who keep cows, that kind of rural life. That's what pastoral poem or poetry is all about. Question number 95. A poem that deals with shepherds or rural life is called that. Of course, I just described that. That is pastoral, and that is option B, is pastoral. Now, option A, which is Bece, is not a poem that deals with shepherds or rural life. It is a poem that laments the death, laments or mourns the death of a notable personality or a loved one, all right, is similar in meaning to elegy. So a dirge can be sung as a song, all right, so that's a dirge. Now, a ballad is a song like, well, a ballad is also a storytelling kind of poem. It began as a folk song, all right? So that is a ballad. A ballad is a poem that tells a story and can also uh, be produced as a kind of song, you know. So that is a ballad. It's also a kind of poem. Now, I've already explained couplet. That is a pair of rhyming lines in a poem. Now, question number 96. Even 10,000 oceans cannot wash away my guilt. The figure of speech used here is that, a hyperbole. Yes, hyperbole is exaggeration, you know, when something is blown out of proportion. Even 10,000 oceans. Option B is personification. This is a different figure of speech when you describe a non-human entity with some human qualities. For instance, if you say that the sky is smiling to mean that there is a bright weather, then you are using personification. Or you say that the whole city is asleep. All right, so that is personification. Now, assonance refers to, you know, resemblance of sound, you know, in nearby words, especially as refers to the vowel sounds. You know, when you have similar vowel sounds in nearby words, all right, that is assonance. Consonance refers to consonant sound. Sonance refers to vowel sound. The metaphor has to do with comparison, which uses no word to compare. For instance, instead of saying that Okonkwo is like a lion, you simply say Okonkwo is a lion. If you say Okonkwo is like a lion, you are using simile, all right? But if you are saying that Okonkwo is a lion, then you are using hyperbole. I mean, you are using a metaphor. So metaphor, all right? Simile is different from metaphor. In simile, you use words such as like or as. When you say as black as charcoal or as white as snow, you are using simile, all right? But when you say his shirt is pure snow, all right? And then, of course, you are using metaphor. If you say it is like snow, you are using simile. Now, I just want to, you know, I want you to get familiarized with these literary terms so that whenever you come across them in any literature or English exam, then they will be bread and butter for you, all right? You will just devour them. Okay, so now, question number 97. Acting without speech in drama is known as dash a miming. Yes, that's quite correct. You know, when you talk of mime, M-I-M-E, from mime, you have miming. Mime is a kind of drama, is a type of drama that uses suggestions, that uses, you know, gesticulations, body language without using words, you know. So that is miming, all right? Verse can be referred to as a line in a poem, but most importantly, it's not just an ordinary Like when you are talking of verse, it can be, it has to do with, you know, it's a kind of line in a poem that, you know, contains, that is metric in nature, if you like. I mean, it contains rhyme. That's what it means. Okay. Okay. Soliloquy is, you know, when it refers to, you know, speaking to oneself. Let me put it that way. Especially when you have a character in drama and he or she is thinking aloud by talking to himself or to herself, either alone or regardless of which other character is nearby. That is soliloquy. Conversation is when two or more persons, especially two persons, you know, exchange, when they discuss with each other. That is conversation. From the word converse, you have conversation. All right. And then in poetry, in drama, a conversation between two characters is called dialogue. So I'm just explaining this to further expand your knowledge of literary terms. Dialogue is the form of conversation you have in drama. All right. In a novel, it's called conversation, although the word dialogue is also used in literature generally. All right. Okay, so question number 98. Don't we all know that God exists? This is a rhetorical question. You know, when you ask a question to emphasize a point that should be known to everyone, or to achieve dramatic effect, if you like, that is rhetorical question. There are different types of questions, and a rhetorical question doesn't require any answer. It is a question you ask to drive home a particular message, all right, to emphasize a point. So this is an example of dash question, as I already explained, rhetorical. That's option C. Now, direct and indirect should refer more to direct speech, indirect speech. Of course, we treated direct reported speech in a recent video lesson, and there we talked about direct speech when you quote the direct words of a speaker, and indirect speech, which is also called reported speech, when you report what someone else has said using your own words. So that direct and indirect refer more to that. Although you can still have direct questions, you can also have indirect questions depending on what you mean by that. So yes or no question is called a polar question. It's a question that requires either yes or no as an answer. Another type of question is WH question, which is a non-polar question. Yes or no question is called polar question. A WH question is called a non-polar question. Why do we call yes or no questions a polar question? Of course, that's because when you talk of polar, polar is something that you have two poles. It's either this or that. All right, so another type of question you might be interested to know is tag questions. All right, tag question. That's question tag. You are a student, aren't you? John is a trader, isn't he? Mary is a musician, isn't she? Susan isn't a seamstress, is she? So those are tag questions. All right, just to give you to expand your knowledge of these things, Now, question number 99. The old man kicked the bucket is an example of that. A, irony. No. Irony is when you say one thing and you mean another. That is verbal irony. You have different types of irony. You have verbal irony. You have dramatic irony. Dramatic irony is when a character in a story or a play is ignorant of certain facts in the story that are known to the audience. All right. So that's irony. Verbal irony is when you are saying one thing, but it's clear that that's not what you mean. Well, euphemism is the correct option here. When you say the man kicked the bucket, that is euphemism. Euphemism is a figure of speech in which you use some polite or positive words or pleasant words to express an unpleasant situation. You are saying something bad in a polite manner. All right. For instance, instead of saying that you want to go to the toilet, then you say you want to visit the restroom, or please, where the conveniences, I want to visit the conveniences. All right. So you use some pleasant words, to actually talk about some unpleasant things. Hyperbole, we have explained, is an exaggeration. Metaphor, we have also explained, is a figure of comparison where you directly say that one thing is another. Now, question number 100, which is the last but not the least here. The people that gather to watch a play are called audience. Yes, that's the correct option. Audience. Spectators are people who watch a match, for example, who students are. And then a congregation is where you have a place of worship, all right, as in a church or mosque. Well, this is where we draw the curtain on today's lesson. I hope you have learned the various literary terms. I hope you have enjoyed today's class. And if you have enjoyed today's class, I am confident that from now onwards, you will be in a position to appreciate literary works much more than you have ever done before. Now, if you enjoyed today's video, like the video and share it with your friends and relations. If you have any questions, any comments or suggestions, leave them in the comment section below. You will find various videos on this channel that will be useful to you in your desire to achieve proficiency in the use of English. Don't forget that on this channel, we also share ideas that will help people who want to learn digital skills such as content creation, digital marketing, online business. All right, we share ideas with people in these areas. So if you are interested in videos like this, make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure also you activate the notification system by clicking on the bell icon, so that whenever a new video goes live on this channel, you will be notified instantly. Now, I thank you for being part of today's episode, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Goodbye for now, and remain blessed. Many thanks for watching today's video. A big thank you to all of you out there for being part of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, kindly subscribe to this channel. Subscribe now as a way of giving us support. For notification about new videos, click on the bell icon. You will find the bell icon. Click
click on it so that whenever a new video is uploaded, you will be instantly notified. If you have actually enjoyed the video, like and share the video with your friends and relatives. This is very important. If you have any comments, leave your comments below. Any questions, any suggestions, we would gladly receive them and respond promptly and positively to them. See you in the next video. I look forward to always seeing you in the new video. Thank you and